You are listening to Pacific Beer Chat. We are a collective of West Coast beer bloggers sharing our opinions on events, issues, and well-crafted brews. We discuss both local and international issues and aim to educate and entertain. We are a part of the Hopped Up Network. Thanks to Without Mercy for allowing us to use their song Burn in the intro and outro. Metal is fitting for big, aggressive beers like Russian Imperial Stouts. On the episode, we talk about Nokomis Craft Ales Barrel-Aged Russian Imperial Stout, Cigar City Brewing Marshall Zhukov's Penultimate Push, and Struise Black Damnation, Coffee Club, and Maestro. And also thanks to 12 Kings Pub for allowing us to use them as our home away from home. Hope you enjoy. Pacific Beer Chat, we've got Mike the Beer Raider.
Hi.
Steve from Mike's Craft Beer.
Hey.
We've got Kevin from The Beard Show.
Hello.
Got Chelsea from Brutiful, British Columbia. And we've got Lundy Pink Pints.
Howdy.
And Carnell will be here at some point, and we'll make fun of him mercilessly. And I'm Mike from Mike's Craft Beer. So this episode, we're going to talk about a couple of Russian Imperial Stouts. 3 of them are world-class stouts, and one of them I picked up in Saskatchewan, and I've heard good things about it. So we'll crack that one open. This one's from Nokomis Craft Ales. It's an Imperial Stout, barrel-aged for 12 months. Nice light at 10% alcohol. I'm going to start pouring. I don't know much about this brewery, but I've heard good things. I got this at a liquor store in Saskatoon
You want to pour your own?
about a month and a half ago.
So go crazy.
It's nice when work brings you to faraway lands like Saskatoon.
The exotic lands of Saskatoon.
Actually, I really enjoyed my time in Saskatoon, even though it was only like half a day.
Said no one ever.
Oh, it's actually nice there.
No, it was a really nice town. Good breweries, actually, too.
We have a fun Shakespeare festival, too.
I would have went that weekend.
Oh, you don't like Shakespeare, huh?
No, not really.
I don't know.
Can't be perfect.
You need
right?
to get more culture than your beer.
Shakespeare that involves condom crosses.
Well, it sure looks like a Russian Imperial Stout. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
First cheers, guys. Cheers.
Interesting difference with your plastic. Oops, with your plastic glass and ours. How
No,
much
I
difference the
ordered mine.
carbonation is showing.
Yeah, hey?
Yeah.
Like ours doesn't show any of that.
Yeah, I know. I really wish I had glass glasses.
Well, I would have had the same ones if I remembered them, so
Yeah.
no worries. Smells really nice.
Wow.
Interesting.
It's definitely got the barrel aging in there. It's got the wood.
That's nice.
I'm not sure what the barrel was. Doesn't say, but
What's the ABV on it?
10%.
Oop.
Yep, definitely feel that.
Thinking rum barrel, maybe?
It could be. It's got a very sweet aroma. It's going to be a lot sweeter than a bourbon sweet, but not as sweet as rum.
Yeah, I'm getting sort of a raisiny or rummy thing.
See, I don't have a lot of even close to this heavy beer. When I drink this, I just want to cook with it.
Okay.
It does seem almost like barbecue sauce. doesn't
Yeah,
it?
you know, like it's just anything like chilies,
I've got a pork shoulder.
spaghetti
in my freezer
sauces,
that I-
anything that you stew. Put like a heavy stout or imperial stout or anything in there, and it just
This one you could probably cook with because it's not super expensive. These are much more expensive. You wouldn't want to cook with them.
Well, if my cat were here right now, he'd be sharing this with me.
That's awesome.
your cat drinks beer.
I have Lego likes stouts and porters, and Pez loves IPAs. I can't win at home.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's interesting though because
It's a beer dish.
Yeah, exactly.
because if I open an IPA, I can literally open like a Yellow Dog, whatever, have it sitting there, and within seconds, Pez can smell in the room, and he comes running up to go start drinking it. What? Get away from my beer! Lego won't have anything to do with it. I open up an Imperial Stout. There's Lego right in there.
Holy, you gotta fight your cats for your beer.
I know. There are signs of fighting. There's like
Everybody
beer
needs
that's
to
being
boo.
sprayed on the walls. From
Oh, we just finished.
Get in here.
We just finished.
Oh, sweet. Where's Drew, guys?
There's one right there.
Sweet deal.
That table.
Oh,
Here's the bottle.
you are cruel today, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm no holds barred.
What is this?
It's beer.
Oh, thank God.
Trying to find out like what the
We started yet?
barrel aging is, but they don't really have
Yeah, we have. We're started. Yeah. It's,
Okay.
it's from is it Nokomis
I've never even heard of that.
It's from
Barrel-aged Imperial
Saskatchewan.
Stout.
Is it
12 months in a barrel, Russian
Well, it
Imperial
doesn't
Stout,
say
10%
bourbon, because
alcohol.
they've done a bourbon barrel
They
aged
keep
as
saying
well.
nice thick bourbon stout.
Oh, could be it. But it's
Bourbon?
It's definitely got like a woody, almost spice to it. It's got the big.
You know, it's fitting that the weather's just turned shit because
The raisins in it.
These are
This
good
is-
beers for
Yeah.
sitting in a refrigerator.
yeah,
Yeah.
But I mean,
yeah, meat locker, if
Yeah.
you will.
this
Yeah.
I really enjoy
no
this.
lagers
This
for
is
this
nice.
kind of.
It's rare that I ever drink porters or stouts.
Oh, really?
They seem to be
Really?
Well, luckily, this is it for the. Well, actually,
No,
we
it's
brought
not.
some stouts too. But yeah, no, I
Hot
think
tub in there.
for the first beer I've ever had from this brewery, I would buy it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I would.
good.
I would search their beer out again if I get back to
Yeah.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah,
You know, it shows a level of sophistication
They're
or
2 years
expertise
old
in
now,
order
I think.
to do it. So
Yeah, they're fairly new, but everyone's fairly new in this industry.
Oh, constantly. And more to come.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean,
I think it's your food.
Saskatchewan's beer scene is behind us, but the breweries that I tried
Thank
there,
you so much.
I mean, they're basically on par with our beer. It's just
You
way
had a
less.
sneaky way to come in, did you?
But yeah, no, I'm impressed.
I wouldn't know, probably, because I don't drink many of these, how to tell the difference between like a good imperial stout and a bad imperial stout.
Do you like it?
the
Yeah.
good, the good ones you like.
I mean, if you don't like the style at all, then it doesn't matter. But I mean, if
Yeah.
you like it, you like it. That's what it comes down
But
to.
there's some that you have. I mean, the barrel-aged Russian Rasputin, it's like you're in heaven. It's smooth. It's something about it.
I
just
bought
like,
that a few years ago, and we had a bottle. We're like, oh hell no!
There's small bottles. They're 500 liters,
Yeah.
so it's just like
I think
that to me is
500
like.
I hope
what's a big bottle?
500 liters.
I managed to drink it without cats in those days. It was great. And I had it all by myself. It was one of those you think, should I share this with someone? I went, I don't think so.
Those are the best beers.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as mature as something I've had. It's not as full, like it doesn't, you know how if you have a really good imperial stout, it's like your whole mouth just, you can feel it right going down.
So you
Like
don't
it's
have
just
to wash
mouth
it if you
coating.
don't want to.
Yeah.
And this is lacking that,
Why not bring my own
but it's
cup?
still tasty.
Do you think if you cellared that, it would improve, or do you think
Oh, yeah.
it's just?
But I think it's probably they're still learning how to make this kind of beer.
This one?
It's good. I mean,
I think it'd be that much better with like another year on it, just sitting in the bottle, a cold spot.
2 years even.
Yeah, yeah.
May-
3, 4, maybe 5 years. Add more years.
it doesn't tell you what yet. So you know it's a year old. That's the only thing you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what
Was
it's
it 12 months? Yeah, 12 months in barrels.
But it doesn't have a lot of heat. It doesn't
From
have
when?
a lot of
No,
alcohol,
no.
so you know
Yeah,
it's
it
not.
doesn't say.
But,
I don't think there's a bottle date or anything on it.
I prefer it when they mellow out even further. And
Yeah.
this one has it's a lot of flavor. It's pleasant, but just a little bit mellower, more mellow.
You sort of suspect it's going to get a lot of more wood and vanilla character if you let it sit.
Yeah.
Be interesting. I'd actually like to see another bottle of this and see what happens.
So would I. I'll have to
Yeah.
go back to Saskatoon one day.
Why?
Like I said, I actually liked it. I had fun there. And we're paid for the flight.
There's always that.
Better.
I'm gonna keep a little sip.
I'm not.
Do you want the rest of mine?
I'm good.
Yeah, whatever.
You don't like
Did
it?
you want to borrow a glass one?
Oh, she's got more cups too.
Anybody? Takers? No?
I will.
Yeah.
I'll pace myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna pace myself.
I'm up.
Let's start off big, then go downhill.
Let's do this.
All right.
By about 2:30.
All right. The next one, this was Cigar City Brewing. I picked this up in Tampa just before Hurricane Irma. Had to leave a little early because of it. This is the Marshall Zukof's Penultimate Push Imperial Stout. It is, where does it go here? It's a stout with vanilla and coffee beans. It doesn't actually give the ABV at all on it, which is an American thing.
Really?
Not even
They
a
don't
fine
have
print?
to.
No, they don't have to.
They don't have to.
Weird. Some states you do, some states you don't.
Like just the idea that you wouldn't put it on there is weird to me.
I agree.
Dangerous.
That looks
That too.
thick.
We'll go the other way this time.
I smell that.
Oh, it's vanilla?
Vanilla and coffee.
Darker than Trump's soul.
That's one of my favorite.
You would be correct.
It's my glass, right? Damn. So it's not weird.
It is
Got
now.
some
It is now. These are all my glasses. That's rad.
Yes.
That was Mike's class.
That might have been
Thank
too
you.
much.
Wow.
That is Mike's class.
Just even
This
look
one?
You better trade glasses now.
Aw,
Even,
I thought we all got 2 waters.
burn that one.
God, even look
You
how
guys literally
how
poured
thick
my
it is.
full back into it. Sorry,
I
buddy.
tried the just standard version of this, and it was really good. So I'm hoping this one is just as good.
Nice, nice war
That is nice.
reference too.
Well, you know, Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really, really syrupy looking.
Yeah, it's viscous.
Not much head.
What's that really earthy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is quite.
It's almost
earthy.
like
Yeah.
it reminds me of if anyone does French press coffee.
Yes.
That last sip when you get the
Yeah.
grounds in there and you
Yeah.
ruin your whole cup of coffee.
It's a bit like dirt.
Yeah, it's definitely
It is.
earthy.
It's
It is
like
super minerally.
I don't know.
Roasty. It's definitely not as sweet smelling as the last
it's
one.
a
But you
I,
can
I
taste the
like the
vanilla.
smell. I'm honestly
you know
having a
if
hard time
once you let
getting
it
past
sit
that
there in
mineral.
your mouth, it's actually really nice lingering.
Yeah,
Yep.
like the huge vanilla.
Like
and
right
coffee.
right
Yeah.
now, I'm loving it. And I took a
Yeah.
sip like 30
Coffee.
seconds ago, but
Well, like they fire the barrels, right? Is that a stupid
I'm not
thing
even
to
sure
say?
this one's.
I don't know.
No, but I mean, like
Yeah.
with the barrel, like isn't that a thing that I've never
Yeah, they-
seen?
they do.
They
Yeah,
do
yeah,
to get
that's
it.
how you do
And
it.
it
Yeah.
almost tastes to me like it's a bit of that.
Yeah,
Ashy
yeah,
bit.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
that's one of the feeling in the back of my throat. It's
Yeah.
like that ashy, gritty. Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they were turning the thing over to get the final bit out.
I don't know.
In Cigar City, maybe they just.
If they
Yeah,
just
just a little
cigar in every bottle.
Yeah.
This is just a big joke on everyone. This is their ashtray.
Oh my god! Have you guys ever taken a sip of a beer that had a cigarette floating in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that.
Have you
But
been?
I think in the best possible way, though, in this beer.
No, this is quite nice. Yeah.
And Cigar City is well known for their imperial stouts.
Oh, yeah.
They have, I think it's pronounced Hunapu, which is their
Yeah.
like, I think it's a spice stout. And you have to buy tickets to go to the event. Guarantees you bottles. I think it's like $200 to go to the event. But they bring out all kinds of variants of the Hunapu, this stuff. Other breweries are invited to pour their beer. It's
Wow.
a huge festival. And then you walk out with however many bottles you are owed with your ticket price.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Like
That seems
it's a
worth
big
it then.
deal there. But this stuff is readily available and it's really good too.
Yeah.
Like
Like
the,
untapped 11.5%.
there you go, 11.5%.
Wow.
Nice and light. I mean, it's not.
like wine.
I don't even think it's very.
You don't taste it though.
The alcohol is not a
really
big
does not
burn,
quite that.
No.
but it's.
It's just got that
I'm
mineral
kind of,
taste to it. I'm kind of missing the alcohol warmth from something that big though. Like I wanted to
I
give
find
the room warm my chest a little bit.
I don't taste any alcohol at all.
No.
It's just the mineral taste.
Yeah, I do find I can almost get a little bit of alcohol burn in my throat.
Yeah.
So you're not getting it in your mouth where you usually would.
I have it a little bit on the tip of my tongue, but not much. Yeah. I don't know. This is not my cup of tea.
It's beer. It's not tea.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not my sample glass of beer.
There's only 2 more Russian Imperial Stouts.
Yeah, it
so
says notes
no
of
worries.
espresso, chocolate, dark toffee, and hints of backstrap. It's supposed to be
Blackstrap.
blackstrap. Yeah.
Molasses.
Molasses.
Backstrap?
That's what they're supposed to
Yeah.
put backstrap.
That's a whole different thing.
That's
Yeah. And then there's English hop varietals provide a subtle herbal dryness and finishes with a hearty slap of roasty espresso.
But that might be some of that,
did get that
dirt
slap.
minerally
Yeah.
taste is that because the British hops sometimes like when I drink what's it called like English IPAs and some people try to make English IPAs really big here. I get a lot of that grassy,
Yeah.
earthy
Yeah.
flavor.
It's very.
And I'm always like, why are you using these hops for a beer this big?
Actually, coming back to your French press thing, it tastes like burnt espresso.
Yeah.
That's what.
That's
what
that slap they were.
Yeah.
But I think in Russian Imperial Stouts that works. In a cup of coffee, it doesn't.
You know,
You know, it's a bad cup of coffee, but it can actually add some nice flavors.
that's intense. So
That's maybe a little.
Quite a
much for
difference in the two of them though.
Oh God, yes.
Quite a difference.
Oh, yeah.
I think it'd be better with a cigar.
yeah,
me. Yeah.
We'd have to drink it outside, and then it would be illegal.
only if we get caught.
Exactly. Beat me to it. It's only illegal if you're caught. Like theft.
Like,
Just
Oh my god.
It's so viscous. It's crazy. It just sticks to the side of the.
Actually, yeah, it really does stick to that glass,
And see,
doesn't
that's
it?
what I was talking about.
Oh yeah, it slides.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got
The
legs.
really good one that's got legs, yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Nice legs.
Legs for days.
It's almost like you know when you let it get too cold and you take out some of the water content, and
Actually, you can see it's quite a
have you ever
bit
made that
like-
mistake?
Yeah. Like, it's
You get a
still
more
dripping
thick,
down.
more viscous beer.
It's like,
Honey.
or like, I don't know, a balsamic reduction. It gets to that point where it's just like,
Yeah, this is
I love it.
It's
almost
quite
as
funny.
viscous as like Sam Adams Utopias. Like
Yeah.
that stuff just sticks to your glass too. It's a little stronger than this, but
Yeah, look, it's still
Right?
coating the side of the glass.
23 to
It still
30%
is.
depending on the year.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing though.
Cool
Such
effect.
an amazing beer.
Still have some at home.
Flanders.
The next two are from, it's pronounced Struise out of Belgium. They are not
Whereabouts?
usually available in North America. I got these in trade, and they're fairly expensive. But this is the Coffee Club Black Damnation
Would
number
you trade
4.
for it?
Yeah, what's the
Lots of beer.
trade value?
Well, the real value is $60 Canadian.
Wow.
Yeah, what did you have to do to get that?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, yeah.
$60 worth of beer. This one's 13%
Pause
alcohol.
before.
Yeah. Beer.
Lots of beer.
Let's just end the story up here.
But,
It started with beer.
this is the Black Damnation series is a version of, I think it's called, the Black Albert. And this one's the next step up, and they do a whole series of these. So the first one is the coffee version from 2012 vintage.
Read out the actual, that's not that one, sorry.
Go ahead.
That one. The Black Damnation series is a dark twist of Urban's mind. His idea was to realize a dozen ales with the use of Black Albert over a period of several years that are as black as hell, filthy rich in the nose, and with massive taste.
Sounds enlightening.
Yes.
That is a glimpse into a mind I'm not sure I need to know.
Yeah, I think you pronounce
really
it
dark.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
If only I knew.
Yeah.
You look like you had a pretty good vacation.
I did.
So is this
regardless.
like
And I had to use,
Belgian
because I was there with my
Imperial
parents
Stout
and
then?
my
You were there with
wife.
your
Yeah,
parents?
so
And my wife.
So
And I
Belgian
used
yeast
You were with
all
your
of,
parents as well?
Parents.
I saw the
American
pictures of you and
yeast?
your
So.
wife.
yeah, my parents were there too.
And I cropped them out of all the photos.
I brought them because I needed their
Are they
weight
using the-
Yeah.
in the luggage so I could bring
Those
more
are
beer.
expensive
Actually,
beer
yeah.
mules.
No, you just stuff them in bags.
Oh, I haven't seen you guys in a while. I want you to come to Belgium with me.
You just come with us.
Get in this
It's
bag.
quite different between
Oh,
a
it was great
Belgian
times.
Imperial Stout versus an
Yeah.
American
Suitcase,
Imperial
go
Stout,
too.
right?
Yeah.
Bring both. Don't
I
worry.
need, I need
You
your.
may go shopping.
Don't buy anything because I need your extra space in your luggage.
I think it is Belgian yeast, right? It's got that
Does
Definitely.
smell.
Yeah.
You can even just
You can
you
smell it
look
right
at
away.
the head compared to the others. That
Oh,
That's got an amazing head.
okay, that's my kind of Imperial. That's fucking good.
You like the Belgians?
Oh man, I want to go there.
I was
I know,
watching
I
you
wanna live
search
there.
for words,
It'd be
and you're just like,
There's
Fucking good.
nothing else.
Fucking good.
It's just really fucking good.
I like how we read that nice description with all those flowery
Yeah.
words. We managed fucking
I
good.
just want to try to figure out.
Not as verbose as the Belgians, I guess.
It's not even our first language, and they beat us.
they're like trilingual at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
It's
amazing.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
This beer is actually
Yeah.
rated 100 out of 100.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see that.
I think you should get 110.
That's good.
But if you drink too much of it, the skull on it probably is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you.
saying
I
it'll
don't think
kill
you
me?
could. Like, I think you
percentage
could
is
stop at a certain point.
13?
You appreciate it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's definitely got lots of
And it doesn't
Belgian
taste,
yeast,
again, it
but
doesn't taste alcohol.
But it really shows what the difference in yeast can do. 'Cause
Yeah.
this is, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
sort of the same style, but I really like. It's not that earthy
No,
dirt.
this is
No.
like
still got that molasses. And
Yeah.
It does, but yeah, that's
That's
But
really
That's
it weighs
Belgium.
down the
It does.
the fruity character. It's nice. It's very balanced.
Wow.
Which actually was something that I was talking a lot when I was over there. Was like they were just like all of our beers here. They hate them because they're unbalanced, and that's a really big thing for them. Is like
Oh,
there
yeah.
needs to
It's
be
important.
Yeah, no,
every
it's
element needs to be present, and
Yeah.
they need to be sort of relative to each other. So.
yeah,
I totally
and they
see
put
Yeah.
years of perfection into it.
Although I like the unbalanced beers too.
They have
Yeah.
their place.
Yeah.
They definitely have I mean, I still think that Cigar City is brilliant. I think it's
Yeah.
an amazing beer.
But the
It
one
would,
you
it
want
would take me a while to get through that bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
You need this many people to get through that
Oh
bottle.
God, no!
I don't think so.
You're just
It's-
thinking wuss.
I'd be working on the computer for an hour, I think.
It's one of those beers you would break open normally like at 5 o'clock in the evening. You would just sip through the evening and it'd be gone before you realize it. I went,
I'm still in traffic at 5.
And then by the end of the beer, you think it's a good idea to open another one because it's
yeah,
strong.
and then you
Yeah,
realize
and
that's
then-
the wrong thing to do.
When
Once
you wake
finish
up the
it-
next day with that broad headache all the way across your brow.
Yep. The more I
For some
smell
reason,
this, the
you
more
just
coffee
go
I'm
into
actually
the
getting out of
30s.
it.
No.
Yeah, it's
The one
very-
thing
That's-
that
yeah.
coffee
But
beers
that's
do
okay.
lose their
I'll
coffee
take it.
over years, and this is a
Well,
2012
this is a 60,
vintage.
so there you go.
But
Oh, I
you
would
can
like
really
It comes
smell
back,
it.
but if you let it
So
warm
good
up a bit too.
The
it's
beer,
Good luck
you
with
know,
that
Yeah,
beer.
good luck here.
Right? All those hops.
It'll happen.
The
If you lose it
yeast
in
is
your
really
own
good for your skin.
Look at my skin.
But yeah,
No,
no,
it's nice. It really.
Pop.
You like
Yeah,
it?
it's-
Yeah.
Everyone says
This
that.
is
They go,
the best-
"It's
I
banana
got-
one."
It's the best we've had so far.
I
This,
realize
I
when you
have
just
a
double
feeling
it,
this
you
next
go
one
on
is
out,
going
but
to
they
top
went-
it.
They don't think
what
of
it
me
is,
that
It's
way,
just-
and then
Turn
when
around.
I
That
don't take it
effervescent
myself, I said,
Effervescent,
Belgian
absolutely.
yeast to it
It's
just
nice to
adds
be
so much.
There's actually
Yeah.
still almost
Yeah.
a third of a bottle here. So
I'll use that
These are
as my
750s, not
Yeah.
650s.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they do it right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's more, you say.
Yes, there is.
But it's funny though. I mean, so many brewers play with so many things, and the one thing they stay true to so often is the yeast.
Yeah.
And it totally turns it upside down. Like, I mean, stouts are stouts in a lot of ways. I mean, when
No.
imperial, you add, increase malt and alcohol or mess with the hops a little. But one thing that's not often played with is the yeast.
I think that's what we're missing out here.
Yeah.
After spending that time in Europe, I'm in love with Belgian yeast.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I
Oh, I have
really
been for a
am.
long time. Yeah.
And like I knew I liked it because it just adds so many of these fruity esters and this effervescence. But being there and tasting it done right by the people that have been propagating that yeast for hundreds of years,
Yeah.
they know what they're doing.
You mean you're not a big fan of all the kettle sours available to you in the British Columbia liquor store anymore?
But I think you're right. Like it's an area of beer that we're not exploring really well. And there's even if we don't have like access to those proprietary yeasts that those breweries are using, like there's a huge yeast category out there.
Yeah.
And yet every brewery is almost always using the same as everybody
Yeah.
else, right?
The only one that I find that really does a decent job is Dagger.
Yeah, they
Where
do a
they-
great
yeah.
job.
Well, because they're a Belgian-inspired
Yeah.
brewery, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying a lot of the breweries now are actually taking Belgian beers and cultivating the yeast from the
Right,
like,
yeah.
especially if you can get the cantillons, right? That you
Yeah.
actually got a real traditional Belgian yeast you can
Yeah.
work with, and you can propagate it.
Now that brewery was an experience to go through. It's one of the highlights
I've
of
Oh,
heard.
you went there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
it's like it's so much more than just having the yeast. Like it's the entire. You can almost call it a terroir. That the building,
They moved the whole building.
They moved the whole
wall.
building.
They took a wall.
but they took their roof slats,
Yeah.
and they took the whole roof and moved it because
It's a local yeast, right?
it's a
They also
local-
did spray their beer on the walls to season
Yeah.
the building. Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they believe that, and no one makes a beer like
Yeah.
Cantillon.
Storm Brewing used to have that terroir too, but they just cleaned it up a bit.
There's a whole different reason for that.
But it's not
Jam
something that's.
Health Board.
I know.
I
a
mean-
lot of the Belgian beer probably couldn't be done here because of the health.
No
board,
way.
And
actually.
that's
Yeah, no, but there's companies where like I've heard of people and I know a brewery that's done it recently. I don't think they want people to know too much about them.
Yeah.
They're playing that secret angle, but who have sort of pulled their own yeast out of the air, sent it to the guys in California at the labs.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
they've had it
that's that.
isolated, right? But I mean, we
see that's the difference. Is we go for that, find it, isolate it, put it in a lab, and do it.
but that's how you have to do it here. Like you can't
You
do it
don't
the
have
other way
like
around.
the centuries of just natural good yeast
Well,
hanging out.
if you're a brewery in the Kootenays or in parts of the Okanagan and stuff, you can probably do it more. But in the city, do you really want that wild yeast that's floating out there?
Cantillon.
I
does
heard
it.
the
Yeah,
rumor
no,
is one of the Yellow Dog guys told me there's a decent sour yeast in the air in Port Moody,
It's not telling you
which
what
is like cool to
brewery.
know, but I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's something that should be explored more. Instead
would
of trying to isolate things and make them so clean, it's like let's
Yeah.
try it.
Build
I
a
think
cool
that's the-
ship.
That's probably the next big thing in beer, right? Is people like, okay, we've done the hops, right? Like we've done the hops to death.
That was
So
what,
let's
2 or 3
start
years
looking
ago.
at the other ingredient that really changes the character of beer, right? I think
Yeast,
that's going to be over the next decade, sort of. I hope, anyways, that that's where people are going to start focusing.
Well, and what's it called? I mean, people have had some interest. I mean, sometimes it goes sideways, but mixing yeast too, because you don't know. Sometimes one wins out. Sometimes it kills the other yeast, or doesn't. The other yeast doesn't actually make its mark, but some of them do work together. I mean, Northeast IPAs I love right now, but I think that's the other thing that'll become, if you want to push that envelope even further, I mean, everybody's using the same 2 or 3 yeasts for those beers, or they're doing it wrong. But there's a lot of people who are coming out with clear Northeast IPAs. But,
I haven't poured it yet.
but you know, mixing those yeasts and getting some of those Belgian flavors, I think would just, you know, really take those Northeast IPAs to the next level.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
in our brewery, for some of the beers we actually used to, they have actually combined 2 different yeasts, usually a Belgian, and we're working with the Franco or something else to combine just to get the estery quality.
Absolutely, yeah. It
But
would.
it's learning. It's just like it's practice and learning.
Yeah, well, that's. I mean, I hate the science around anything. Science is stupid.
But
Probably the most important part of brewing.
What is-
But
Science
no, I mean,
teaches.
I like science. I don't
a
like
huge
writing down things.
You don't like doing
But
something.
you have to.
Yeah, I would.
That's why we have nerds.
That's good. Nice
do
guy
the
in there.
science.
They right
I
now
would
we're working
actually
on the
have to
best
say that
batch.
we're all basically
And they're working
nerds.
with 3 different.
We're sitting here on
3
a
different
beer
yeasts.
podcast.
All
No, I think that says
which
more
one
about
actually
our
reacts,
alcohol.
and then the real one.
We're just justifying our alcoholism.
And the beer to create.
Like alcohol.
And don't get me wrong, that
Alcohol.
to me sounds fun. But the other side of the science is, you know, writing it down and taking. I'd rather, you know, not that I have money to pay someone to do it, but I would pay someone else to do that.
And then you drink and be like, yeah, good science.
I'd be like, top notch science.
But you know what's really interesting? You were talking because we went and did the KPU sort of brewing school, and it was just interesting talking about how like brewing was an art for so long, and people learn sort of like that apprenticeship style model where you go and you learn from your brewer.
Yep.
But now that they're really focusing on the process, and like that means that anybody can go to any brewery and like apply that process to the art. So it is sort of that.
Yeah.
Definitely need to have that, especially if you want to have consistency, right? The art is nice. You get like one amazing batch, but if you don't know how you got it, you're never going to get that batch again. So
Yeah, it's
And-
all about the repetition.
That's probably the difference between a very good brewery and a mediocre or a poor brewery, and why I don't own a brewery.
yeah.
That's not where I see the balance between
money
art
anything
and
to do with
science.
it?
That might-
No, it's mostly the science thing.
The art, you play and you find out what maybe you did well, but you have to write it all down and figure out, okay, I did this different, I did this different, and that's probably where.
Yeah, and run your samples and understand the chemistry and the microbiology, and that's like I think it's really interesting. Like just it really is. It is both of those fields,
absolutely.
right? So
I think maybe we're just going a little too far one way at the moment. We're a little too sciencey. We're a little too consistency.
But the pendulum will
And
swing.
it will come back, and it'll go back and forth like it always does.
But then you've got twin sales, which I think is great because they have such small batches.
Yes.
They can just play.
Yeah, you can do some cool stuff.
And they're
there.
they're basically from what we're seeing is they're doing exactly the same recipe, but every recipe they actually do
Tweak it a
different
little
hop,
bit. Yeah.
or they use something different. So it's really cool because it's like you're having 16 different kinds of IPAs, and every one of them is uniquely different because of the yeast or the malt or the hops. So they're having fun. They're not worried about chemistry, but they probably are keeping track. I mean, Ryan, the brewer, is pretty phenomenal. He knows the stuff.
Yeah.
So he's keeping track of what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Right, which I appreciate. I just like the fact that he's sort of finding what I'm hoping others will balance at, and he knows his stuff. He
really
knows the science, but he's willing to play a little, see what happens.
Yeah.
They're small enough to play.
Yeah, there's an advantage to that.
The next one is a 2017 vintage of Black Damnation from the Struise, however you pronounce it. This is the Maestro, the Black
Just make something
Damnation 19. It is a barrel aged version that's got why did I just go blank here?
Beer.
No, it's
It's beer
Cuban
mostly.
rum. Why am I going blank?
Cuban
here?
rum.
Beer in it. Cuban beer.
Havana?
Havana Club, I think. Yes.
That's what you said earlier.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
well, that would add a little bit of that fruitiness too.
And this is bottle number 1145 of 2,000 bottles.
Holy shit.
It's only got 1144, hey?
Exactly.
That's the money bottle.
And this is 13% as well.
So this is number 19, you said?
Yeah. There's lots of versions.
Apparently.
No, but it's funny. I'm just thinking about what you're saying about Twin and they're playing. But I mean, that also sort of owes to the different industries. Like, I mean, in Belgium, their brewing industry has been sort of so traditional, but it's been in that sort of artisan tradition of like everything's going to be a little bit different, and they've accepted that it's sort of subjective. And but here, I mean, the craft beer industry obviously comes after macros being so strong for so long, and that idea that if somebody likes something, we need to be able to reproduce it. And it's really flipping it on its head to do, a sour once a year. Like Central City does their 1 year, their 2. Well, they don't do it. They've done it, and that's it. So I guess it's tough. I mean, obviously, some people who enjoy craft beer have totally bought in, and they're totally willing to, line up and have that experience of buying the beer and then enjoying that beer and that beer being gone. But it still looks like, most brewers are still geared to the idea if I've got a winner, I need to keep producing that winner.
Which I think sucks.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, personally, I think, the experience is half the enjoyment, right? It's like when you go see an art show. I went to an art show once. It's kind of boring. But
I hate science. I hate art.
What do you do?
I went with rocks. No, but the thing was, you appreciate that because it's not just, people go to art shows because that's part of the experience, or at least that's part of the reason, anybody
Maybe
can
they
look
like
up
art.
that. No, nobody likes art. But you can still look up that photo online. But there's something to the experience of going to see it.
Absolutely,
and it's not even that you're touching it or smelling it because you're seeing it.
Who smells art?
No, I don't know.
Pour the beer down.
But it's cool. Like, I mean,
You're holding up the line there, Cornell.
sorry, man.
Yeah.
I'm waxing.
But I think, as you're saying, it really depends on who is running the brewery as well.
Yeah.
Because you get some brewers that get money crazy, and they say, "Oh, this beer is selling.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Therefore, we're just going to make it forever because it sells."
That's right.
And then
But
just stop selling.
there's money in innovation and too now. And I think if you look down south in the States, like those breweries that are putting out those releases and they're selling a 4-pack for $20 American a piece, and people are lining up
Just
down the
my
road.
gloves. I don't
They
wanna
sell out
like-
in 2 hours, and they can that beer 2 hours earlier. They're making $20K that day, and there's no overhead of shipping or moving. There is value to people in the experience, and I think that's coming to Vancouver. Like Twin, like you say. I mean,
They
I'm
do
in
it
Port
well.
Moody. It happens all the time. That beer is going to be there for a week, 2 to 3 days,
is
4
great.
days, but
It's
people
fresh.
still line up, and that's part of the experience. Like, it's fun to line up. You see people you try some beer, but there's a couple people doing. I mean, Boombox can get that going.
Four Winds was doing it for a while.
Four Winds.
Superflux could get it going.
Superflux.
Yeah.
I mean, the funnest one I went to recently was Ryan's
One with Colas. Or,
Coalesce. Yeah, I mean that's the
Funnest.
fastest I've seen something go in a day and a
I was
half.
doing barrel age behind
Yeah.
the doors of Twin Sales, which is kind of cool.
It's really cool. I mean, it's the 5th brewery in Port Moody, but but it's cool. Like I saw 12, 13 people in line that I knew. I mean, that's sort of a fun experience, going to something and seeing it, and then having a beer, bumping into people. That's all part of it.
Yeah. All right. Has everyone picked up? So I just checked. It is Havana Club. It's interesting too. This is actually in a green bottle, which is something that happens in Belgium, but North America, you just don't do that.
Dark green. Dark green. Does
Well,
that make a
most green bottles are that
Dark green, but not
Interesting.
green.
It's
Well,
Is this a North
13%.
American brewery?
No, it's Belgium.
I actually looked this up. So this
Same
is
as the other one.
Oh, okay.
Looks
this is
like
a 20-minute walk from the West Fletern.
What?
brewery. Yeah. Yeah. So actually, when I was going
I was
there,
there.
yeah, I was going there and I looked it up, and this is so. I actually had heard that there was a brewery started by two people in Belgium that really wanted to change up what people were doing. Obviously, because there's this brewery there that's been brewing the same beer for centuries, right?
Yeah.
So they opened up a brewery in the same town, but they wanted to approach it totally differently. I drove there. We had 2 days in Belgium, and I drove there in my little shitty rental car. And I got there Monday or something. I didn't realize that all breweries were closed on the day that I arrived. I was
Sunday?
so upset.
Church day.
I can't. No, it wasn't Sunday. It was
No?
a weekday. I can't remember
The
what
West
it was.
West.
Was it just
Or this
lunchtime?
one?
West Fletern
Yeah.
and this one were closed.
We went there. We had to go there twice in order to get Taste
Yeah.
at 12.
Yeah.
Did you? Oh, you got the 12. You
Yeah.
guys want to hear my funny? I thought it was West or 11. But
West
I could be.
Fletern.
I pronounce things wrong because I don't.
It's right next to
You don't like
Fletcher.
science or arts. So
Yeah,
you
well-
don't like language either.
No, I'm terrible at
This doesn't like anything.
history.
There's a whole
history.
other podcast on
Yeah,
things
things
Cornell
I dislike. West Flat. So I owe my love of beer to my grandpa, who's from the UK, and he loves Belgian beers. So when I went there when I was 18, I used to go every summer, and I went when I was 18, and I could drink. And I told him, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm starting to enjoy beer." And, it's 2 months into being drinking age. No, I wasn't. I was 8. Anyways, I was legal in England, and
14.
so, but he introduced me to Orval, which is still I love today. Still one of the most consistently awesome beers, and it's a Trappist. So when I went with my girlfriend over the summer, we found a really good bottle shop. And I found some West Flatterin. I had to ask for it. It was not the 12, it was the yellow cap, which I'm told is still a really good beer. But long story short, I never found out because Grandpa's birthday was going to give him the bottle. And I thought, oh, shoot, there's not enough time. I'll put it in the freezer just to cool it a little bit.
You are stupid. I'm sorry, but
4 hours.
stupid.
4 hours. Boo!
You have to leave.
So
First then I got me.
I'm clearly late often.
You and Jonathan went. Why?
So that bottle exploded in the freezer. I drank what I could of it. It was delicious.
Your sweatshirt is scraping it over everything else. Yeah.
I think he appreciated the effort, but I'll
West
be.
Fluttering slush.
You go
Yeah.
grab
Yeah.
Actually sounds
swallow the
great.
glass.
That's right. That's
I
right.
just
So I owe him a
wonder
bottle still.
If being so close, if maybe they're catching some of that, right?
I don't know.
But
All I know is that 12, the West Fletcher 12, is by far the best beer I've ever had.
I never
okay,
got
I
to
really
try
like it, but not that much.
No.
Not the one at least I
I
have.
prefer the 10.
The 10.
The 12, I don't know. I sat there.
I've got the 12 in my fridge still.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm out now.
See
So
what-
let's talk about the
Oh yeah.
This is
the
very
maestro.
good.
This beer's good.
It's definitely a different beer.
Yeah.
It's more along the lines of, I think, the ones that
Well-
we tasted previously, but I still enjoy it better because it has that bit of fruitiness that sort of picks
Yeah.
up the earthy.
Yeah, it's
the earthy
nice.
notes are there and they're stronger, but they're
Yeah.
not
It's
just
very
the
good.
only tone.
Although
They're
I
balanced
don't really
against
smell
something.
rum, but it is sweeter.
Oh no, I
I
get
get
some
the rum.
rum.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
I still get the barrel, but
Yeah.
I
There's
get
a
some
I
rum.
taste the rum.
I
for
taste
sure.
the rum.
Like the mineral is more ashy this time around, but I think,
Yeah.
like you said, it's balanced
Yeah.
against.
I think we
that
can't
fruit.
smell it because it's so fucking cold in here.
No, but
Their aromas are like
that's it.
lingering right here.
These
Like
beers are
those
meant to
towards
be
the beer,
actually
hoping.
warm,
Yeah, like we
right?
should probably like.
As you warm them up, they
I'm
actually
actually
bring
going to
up.
pull the beer out of the cooler soon for the rest.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
we
it's
might.
warmer in there. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Pull the ice out then.
Yeah,
But
that's the
still
whole.
really like
Very
fruity
tasty.
and
It's, well, it
rich
makes
body,
sense.
nice
Like
body.
when you think about rum, right? I mean, like if anyone's been to what's it called? The all-inclusive, right? So it's rum and fruit and ice and everything else. So I'm sure it makes sense to me to use that Belgian yeast with those fruity esters
Yeah.
and play off the rum. Like,
Yep.
Well, a good
Yeah, this-
aged dark rum it's got that really fruity.
yeah. Well, I
Well,
can't speak to the good
Cuba-
dark rum, but that makes sense to me.
Cuba-
When I was,
rum
when I
in
was in
general.
Cuba, I've never I don't drink a lot of spirits, right? And I don't drink a lot of dark spirits, but the dark rum in Cuba, it's really, really good.
It doesn't matter what rum it is. All rum in Cuba is really tasty.
Yeah.
The sugar cane there is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it's so nice. I actually got some that was made from baby guavas, and that was like, my
Yeah.
head exploded.
Sorry, I
It was
heard
so
baby
good.
koalas.
Guava.
Bring him out.
Guavas, yeah. It's delicious.
What if you guys do to get that rum?
You haven't had koala? I don't think that's
See,
wrong.
this is 2012, so
What was that?
it's 5 years old.
Nope, that one said 2017.
Well, I've got here on the
Maybe they said.
Maybe it was bottled.
on the
Oh, maybe it's a vintage of 2012, but bottled.
vintage 2012.
So it's been
Oh, there you
sitting
go.
in barrels for 5 years.
And it was only released till this year.
Yeah, so
There
it's
you
been
go.
sitting for 5
There you
years.
go.
Who's your guy? Who's
Yeah.
your guy, Mike?
Who's this trader that
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, I
just
would
dealing
definitely
with
trade
you?
$60
Sure.
worth of beer.
He only brought back these two for me
Well,
and
he
then
says
some for
$60
him.
worth of beer.
$60 worth of beer.
Beer.
I think that's
Beer.
what Mike had to
That's how the
drink
night
before he did what
Yes,
he did.
yes, it started with beer. It took $60 worth of beer, and then
I will
Like,
trade
hey,
you
come with me.
this $60 of beer
$60 worth of bad decisions.
or select from the menu.
And Mike shakes his beer.
These are all services I'm happy to provide.
Just saying, dude.
Oh, man.
you do what you gotta do. I'm so
My
glad
beard
you
was
did
always
that.
going to be shorter than yours, so whatever.
But yeah,
Do
this
you
beer
still have
tastes
some of the
good.
other one left, too, like side
Yeah,
by
like
side at
going
all?
back and forth is really kind of neat.
You want some more of the other one?
Yeah, I'll take some more.
Here you go. Here you go.
There's still a just to get them side by side. Like I kept them both purposely so I could put them side by side because they're bigger bottles and.
I also like that about like
The
it
sweetness
gives
of
you
the
a
first
good
one
serving
comes-
size, right?
Yeah.
Great format.
750s are great format.
AKA more beer.
More
And
13%
you know what?
alcohol
Actually, I have
beer.
to say, like, I know we're just like, oh, Europe is better, but like,
No,
being able to buy a beer and then like go on the train and just like open your beer and like drink it with
Oh,
like,
yeah.
cheese in your bread on the train, like
beautiful thing.
Like, it's nothing wrong with that. It's like I'm well
Unless you live
behaved.
out
I'm
here.
enjoying myself. Having a delicious beer.
I'm not.
It's great.
I got really frustrated with my girlfriend in the summer because we were on the train and I kept doing just like, oh my god, beer, cracking. What are you doing? It's like, it's totally cool. I don't believe you. Like she was convinced,
Yeah.
and she loves beer, but like she was convinced. So we were like, when the guy came by, she's like, hide it.
Yeah. Actually, I had that feeling too. Like I should just like drink it like kind of on the sly. Like,
Yeah.
I heard.
That's
I don't know if
that's
this
the
is true.
conditioning, our cultural conditioning here, that we're not supposed to do that. But
In
you
Germany,
go
I
over
heard you can drink a beer in the
Yeah.
passenger seat.
Yeah.
there's actually a lot of places.
Yeah.
There's even some states like that in the U.S.
Really?
Yeah.
As long as you're not driving. Have a great
self-
time.
Probably.
On Amtrak, if you go into one of the little cabins, they always
Man.
provide you with a bottle of Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
Side by side, these are really, really good. Like they're both really
At the
good.
same time.
These have instantly gone to my like top 3 favorite dark beers.
Well,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
The-
like
Yeah.
realistically, these are amazing.
The coffee, what's it? Coffee Club is it called? Was 100 out of 100. The Maestro is 99 out of 100. So
What did it do wrong?
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's
There's
just not
something
quite
wrong.
ready.
Well,
Just
you know
some
what, this one,
jerk
though, like,
online.
it's so much more like just the aroma. Like
There's no such thing as a perfect score.
Although I actually prefer the Maestro.
Yeah, yeah.
right?
The second one or the?
The second one, yeah.
Coffee Club the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pick.
one?
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
pick.
You
Something.
don't have to.
Yeah.
This is just
I'd go with Maestro.
lighter.
What about just
on the
between all
palate.
four? Like instead of just those two, do you have a favorite out of the four?
The Belgians, I think like
Belgians.
that yeast is like, I know it's a new thing to my mouth and it's a new thing to my senses, but I like new things. So
New is always better.
new is always better, and these are really good. That's my assessment.
I don't like that style of beer. Like I honestly, I avoid barley wines. I avoid imperial whatever's just because I find that often it's really like I know, right? I was coming, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pack a couple beers just in case.
Sometimes hoppy.
Got a
hoppy.
pilsner in the
just
backpack.
something different. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I just find them
What's all
like
that
really
is?
like just extreme,
No.
and they're kind of the flavors. Are like for me, I don't like drinking Scotch very much, right? Like just that like really earthy, peaty, like. Ugh. But
I'm not a fan of
these are.
Scotch either.
I got a whole
all
shelf
of
of
these
Scotch
beers
I've
taste
never
like
drank.
this. These are amazing.
I like bourbon, but not Scotch.
But I think the nice thing with the Belgian yeast is because it does have sweet and estery.
Yeah.
And most Russian Imperial Stouts are really earthy and bitter.
Yeah.
You know, cigar.
Actually,
So it elevates
So
that.
kind of-
prefer the
it-
sweet
it
Russian
gives you
Imperial
It
Stout,
gives you the
personally.
balance that what we're looking for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's just
Because it's not heavy. I mean, I'm not tasting bubble gum. You know, like most
Yeah,
Belgian you get
yeah,
the bubble gum.
yeah.
You don't have
water.
that.
This is like a
They give you a nice
fruity,
estery,
like,
quiet
It's like
quality,
still yours.
balances the bitter to make it a nice,
like-
It's
easy
almost like
drink.
I guess the only thing to say is like because it's so fruity, there's no chance to get that oaky vanilla creamy, right? Like that would be the
With
one
cherries
flavor
and
that you
stuff?
Which one's
cannot
the
get with
Maestro?
this yeast.
the second
So-
one.
And I love vanilla. Like
I can't decide.
My
Red chocolate
very
or, like,
first
dry
homebrew success was doing
Yes.
I
I know exactly what you're saying.
big stout with like a lot of vanilla.
That's what I'm
And
getting.
I just love that flavor profile. I think it works really well.
Don't
But yeah, I
don't
think you're
give
right.
it
I
fruit,
think it'd be
don't
really
give it
tough to
nothing.
make those two things work together in this.
Yeah, you can either go that direction, this direction, or earthy, I guess.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, that's not a knock. That's
But yeah, no.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
they were, at least in my opinion, they were all really good.
Yeah.
And I was a little worried putting up the one.
It was good for us to start that.
I was,
what?
I'm
The,
glad we
It was
started.
still
the
a good.
Nokomis, I was worried
a
about
good
putting it in here because I had no idea about the brewery, and I knew these are all considered world class beers. So it's always dangerous throwing in another beer that isn't rated up there because, well, it could pale in comparison. It could. I don't think it really did. I think it really stood up.
it stood well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
It
It's.
wasn't disappointing.
No.
I wouldn't say it's at the level these others are at,
Well,
but
these
it
are-
shows some serious promise.
Yeah.
We're talking
That's
world
right.
class breweries
Well, yeah.
that are world renowned,
Yeah.
and then a brewery that's 2 years old.
And that's
From
what I like.
Saskatoon.
Which is
Well,
pretty,
this is
which is
Saskatchewan,
pretty
which,
amazing.
This
No.
is going to a new brewery or within a year where I don't expect excellence from any new brewery. I expect, like, you can taste their beer and you see their direction or their take on a beer. And this, I'm interested to check in on them or check in on this beer almost annually
Yeah.
to see.
If they put that in
Very good.
barrels like these guys did for
Yeah.
5 years and then released it, it would probably stand up, right? So
Probably,
that's the one thing is this is like it's like drinking a brand new red wine versus a red wine you had sitting around
Yeah.
for a while.
Yep.
Actually,
Yeah.
speaking of red wine, I actually got a little bit of red wine out of the Maestro. Last little sip there.
I know it was one of these.
I don't think I had red wine in like.
Taste coffee, wrong one.
When's
It's cold in here.
Just noticing this?
Yeah, well, I had to run here.
I'm in a scarf hide.
You know, the thought that all of us in hats.
I don't know what I was thinking. I knew this room was cold. Like, I'll wear a sweater. It'll be cool. It is cool. Too cool.
All right, well, it's probably good for this episode.
Yeah. I
Glad we all really like these. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers with my
Cheers.
Okay, I better pour some more.
yeah.
Thanks for tuning into this episode. Find our show on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, YouTube, or your favorite podcast site or app at Pacific Beer Chat. Please leave us a review as it helps spread the word about the show and helps new listeners find our episodes. You can find Pacific Beer Chat on social media at Pacific Beer Chat on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Send us an email at feedback@pacificbeerchat.com with any feedback or comments. We'd love to hear from you. You can also find us at pacificbeerchat.com. We are part of the Hopped Up Network, an international craft beer podcast network. If you enjoy this craft beer focused show or any other craft beer focused shows, check out hoppedupnetwork.com. And thanks to Tim of craftbeertourist.com for designing our brand new logo. Thanks to Without Mercy for allowing us to use their song Burn in the intro to this episode. To check out Without Mercy, head to withoutmercyband.com, or Instagram and Facebook you can find them at Without Mercy Band, and Twitter you can find them at Without Mercy. To finish this episode out, we're going to leave you with the full version of the song Burn. Hope you enjoy it.